All right, welcome back to the channel. Rolly Romero, Rolly Romero, Rolly Romero. The WBA world champion at 147 pound, two-time, he says three-time, but I know of at least two-time world champion, Rolly Romero. Gervonta Davis's win ain't like fine wine. Meanwhile, whoa, the rest of the boxing world is it's just jacked up. Man, that fight was like a death blow to Turki Al-Sheikh and those guys. Oh, let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, I am going to be gloating. And I'm only going to be gloating because, you know, I am so sick of this Turki Al-Sheikh stuff. I was so sick of all of this talk about how they're taking over boxing. First of all, it was the Brits that were going to come over the United States and take over boxing. Now it's Turkey was going to come over and take over boxing. So, of course, I watched this debacle of a card, and the only bright spot on this card was Rolly Romero from the PBC. The only bright spot on that card was Rolly Romero from the PBC. How ironic is it that he was the one to beat Ryan Garcia? All week long, people had been asking, what fight do you think has the biggest chance for upset? For me, going into it, the one that had the biggest chance for an upset was Teofimo Lopez and Arnold Barboza. However, Tio won that fight, and it didn't look bad in that fight, but man, these guys are snoozers. Like, man, they're over by whatever. Anyway, so then there was Devin. Fight was boring as hell. And then there was Ryan and Rolly. But God, anyway, I'm really happy for Rolly. It was a huge upset. So, you know, Vegas, those cats in Vegas and them gamblers took a bath on that fight. So all around, man, just a huge upset. For the fight itself, Rolly Romero showed in that fight that he was a legitimate boxer, man. Like, he really had a set game plan for Ryan Garcia. He knew exactly how he wanted to approach him, and he dominated him with a jab, a long, strong jab to the body, by the way. And Rolly Romero dropped him in. I think he dropped him in the second round, similar to the way that Devin Haney had gotten dropped by Ryan Garcia. Oh, man. And then just went on boxing beautifully, you know. I don't think that fight was ever really at a level where Ryan did not look his best. Ryan didn't look good. But at the same time, I think that the rematch may wind up being the same thing. Because Gervonta Davis has said that that Rolly Romero is one of the, you know, is a very underrated puncher. Very underrated puncher. But so the rematch might wind up just being the same thing. But on the real, Ryan Garcia just did not look good. But my heck still goes off to Ryan Garcia because, you know, he admitted defeat. He didn't cry about it. He said, man, he's just the better man won. I didn't feel it tonight and all of that. Now, I don't want to be somebody to make an excuse for Ryan Garcia, but I am going to make an observation because I'm telling you, the only winner that took place last night, the only real winner was Rolly Romero in the PBC, and I'll explain to you why. That's because all of the fights that they were trying to make around the Ryan Garcia Devin rematch, that's out the window. Teofimo Lopez and Devin, after the performances those guys put on, I'm not going to want to see Teofimo fight Devin Haney. That crap is going to be so unreally overly technical. Everybody's there. Basically, it's going to be like a flinch fest. You know what I mean? It's going to be a feint fest. Like, nah, man, I'm okay, man. I'm okay with that matchup. Look, I used to be somebody that wanted to say, I just always want to see the best fight the best, right? But that there is something called matchmaking that you have to pay attention to. which is if two people are going to fight, what is the fight going to look like for the fans? Certain fights, if this guy fights, that guy's going to be can't miss, right? Dog, it's Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney. You have no idea what you're going to get in that fight, except for more than likely it is going to be a 12-round stinker because these guys are both so busy trying to be Floyd Mayweather Jr., man. Like, man, no. Absolutely terrible matchup. So if you look at the matchmaking on it, do you know who these guys need to fight in order to have a match where the fight, it's going to be an exciting fight? They're going to have to fight Rolly Romero. They're going to have to fight Gervonta or Gervonta Davis, obviously with the bigger money because he's always making the fights exciting. But it was just, there's no exciting matchups you can make with that combination of fighters. Absolutely not. Keyshawn Davis was there. And I mean, who do you want to see Keyshawn Davis fight? Do you want to see Keyshawn Davis fight Devin Haney? Can you imagine how much Devin Haney's going to be scooting around the ring with Keyshawn Davis? It's just such a bad look, man. It's just such a bad look and Ryan, on the other hand, would have been, of course, he brings the excitement to the fight, but he lost. So his fan base and all the people that would have supported Ryan Garcia, man, those dudes they're gone, man. Oh, the irony of all of this stuff, man. The PBC is looking shiny because they just snatched the belt. They took a PBC fighter over there, put him on that card as somebody who was going to be the one that was for sure going to lose, right? Barboza had a better chance against T.O. Jose Ramirez had a better chance against Devin. And I'm telling you, man, almost nobody gave Rolly Romero a chance. I did. Well, I'm not going to say I didn't give him a chance. I didn't see how he could beat Ryan Garcia, but at least I did acknowledge that Phoenix the Assassin and Kamal Oz said, no, they think he can win. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I know those guys really know boxing, so there's probably something I'm not seeing about Rolly Romero that they see because clearly those guys know boxing and they were very confident about the outcome of this. Anyway, I absolutely hope that this card furthers the demise of Turki Al-Sheikh and his boxing effort. Honestly, bro, it didn't look like any of those guys took any risk. Anybody really wanted to go out there and get anything done. I also believe that Turki Al-Sheikh is somewhat at fault for this because of that stupid way that he decided to set up that show in the middle of basically on half side of the street in Times Square. Like, man, and then watch this. They go to Times Square, right? The fight's in Times Square. They said that you could walk by it. You should be able to see the fight as you go by. No, they walled the thing completely off. Nobody from outside could see inside. And then when they were panning the audience, when they panned the audience and the cameras during the presentation or during the pay-per-view, they were showing people cheering. All these people were from local boxing gyms. And guess what they did to them? They said they were going to give them free tickets to the event. When they got there, they didn't give them tickets to the event. They gave them tickets to a viewing area blocks away with soundless television screens. So the people you saw on TV, if you did watch it, they were like, "Hey," they were only there to have the camera pan by them and watch it on television. It wasn't even like they were standing next to the venue itself. And they were like, "Oh, we're on the outside trying to get in." No, they were several blocks down, man. Look, this phoniness got to stop. The phoniness just has to stop. I'm loving it, though. Anyway, that's my take of the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.